Okay, we've got today's top three finishers in today's mission. King of the Baggers race here at Daytona International Speedway. It's obviously the series opener. Our winner today, Kyle Wyman. Second place, Bradley Smith. And third place, Cam Petersen. We'll get started with Cameron. First Baggers race of your short Baggers career so far. And I know you're coming... I don't know what the word is for it, but you've had a pretty miserable time of late. And this has got to feel really special to be able to put yourself up on the podium after what you've been through.
Yeah, honestly, you're going to make me emotional just thinking about it. But yeah, it hasn't been an easy road the last few years. And yeah, this, no matter what you're riding, where you're riding in the world, getting on the podium and being competitive is a nice feeling. But yeah, it's honestly coming into this year, I never really expected that this would happen, being on a bagger. And after I tested the thing the first time, I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do. Just never had so much fun on a motorcycle before, So, yeah, it's just a big learning curve. Still trying to figure the thing out. I catch myself out there doing some pretty weird stuff on the bike that I've never done before. So, yeah, just, slowly clicking away at it. And we do have a long way to go to catch up to Kyle. I mean, that first lap was pretty incredible. But yeah, man, just so stoked to be up on the box and have this feeling again after a few rough years.
You didn't get a very good start. Were you like, oh no, not again?
Yeah, funny. So first time I ever practiced a start on the bike was Q2 this morning, and it went about the same. I almost did a backflip, landed right on my head, and yeah, race was the same thing. I let the clutch go, thing came up, almost did a backflip, and then yeah, just slowly clicked away at it. I had some luck and unfortunate about the first turn incident, but as the race went on, I started to feel more like myself, and I think tomorrow is going to be another step in the right direction. But yeah, I mean, if you had told me last year that I would have been battling Bradley Smith on a bagger out here at Daytona, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have believed you. So pretty damn cool that these things work out.
All right, thank you. And now we'll speak to Bradley. I don't think you'd be the only one that was surprised. Bradley, we talked yesterday, and I walked away from that conversation going, man, he's going to get smoked. And yep. I think you kind of agree with me. I mean, you've got to be really surprised. And as a footnote, for those of you that don't know, Bradley Smith has basically raced in every series in the world that you could possibly race in on a motorcycle. So he's got tons of experience, but this was obviously his first outing on a King of the Baggers bike and also his first trip to Daytona. So tell us a little bit about the change from yesterday when there was a bit of fear in your face until sitting on the podium in second place.
Cool, I don't know where to start. Okay, yeah. I'm probably going to say exactly the same as Cam in terms of I didn't expect to be on the banks of Daytona either. I don't think I had started a race for 4 years, so I thought my racing career was done, but funny how things turn around from absolutely nowhere when you least expect it. So it's been great to be welcomed to MotoAmerica, been great to be welcomed into the Harley-Davidson team. Kyle's been great. Also my buddy James in welcoming me. All the team has been trying to move the process along as quick as possible. But when you turn up at Daytona for the first time, it doesn't matter what prep you do. Your eyes are just wide open and going, oh my God, what am I doing? But I'm very pleased that I managed to sleep on it last night, come out better this morning, managed to find that lap time in qualifying. And then just got a good start and did what I could. It wasn't pretty, wasn't fast, but I did what I could, stayed upright, and I think sometimes that's all that's needed. There's a million things that is running through my head right now, but just grateful for the opportunity to be back, and roll on race 2 tomorrow.
All right, well, thank you and congratulations. Our winner today is Kyle Wyman. It's his 19th career Mission King of the Baggers victory, which is well ahead of anybody in the class. It's also his 4th King of the Baggers race win here at Daytona International Speedway. You're kind of on the complete opposite of these guys. I mean, it's like expected of you to run at the front and do well. And it seemed like from the way the time we got started here yesterday, that your confidence was there and everything was going to be okay, and here we are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the team's worked really hard this winter trying to find a few things that we can take into Daytona, and we have more stuff on the way after that I'm looking forward to. But when we have when we finish the day on Thursday in this case, but the first day of the weekend, typically on a Friday, and we have that kind of like gap, we have a pretty good win rate, so it's really all about starting fast for us. And, they definitely threw us a little bit of a curveball with the tire change today, but I think that, fortunately it was definitely the right move. I think, we still had a little bit of issue out there, but I mean, we're in a much better spot than I think everybody was yesterday. But, yeah, the bike's fast. Boys have been working hard. Definitely, end of last year, if you told me it was going to be Cam Bradley sitting next to me, right? I mean, it's pretty wild that what bagger racing has done, and it's been a really cool journey to this point, and continues to be more and more fun. And today was a really fun day.
Were you aware of that Troy crashed when he was behind you?
I wasn't. I had an instinct that he was maybe dropping off because I didn't hear him. So I took a peek actually out of NASCAR turn 4, and I literally saw nobody. And I was like, I thought that maybe he was right up my ass, because I was like, how is it possible that nobody's, at least in the shot? And then I came by the pit board, it said +7. I was like, are you joking? Like, what is happening? So, yeah, but the pace was hot. I put down some really good laps in the beginning, felt really comfortable. Definitely nearly got caught out a couple times. These conditions were definitely a little bit trickier than we've had all weekend long. So, fortunately saved a couple near crashes on the front, just pushing. But yeah, I was able to put the pressure on and got a pretty good points lead on my main rival at this point. So it's a good feeling.
Back to the tires for a second. Would you have had the option? Would you have taken the option of using the other one for the race, or was it just not going to work for anybody?
I think it was only going to maybe work if they shortened the race, which we might see tomorrow. They've done that the last 2 years, shortened it to 6 laps. With what we're seeing, we might see that come down, but I went faster on this tire today than I went yesterday. So I guess, even if I had the option, this was the right choice.
And as far as you know, I don't think anybody had a problem with this one, right, in the race?
I don't think so. I mean, mine was starting to just peel apart between the two, compounds, between the thin gauge and the regular gauge thickness. But we're not seeing big problems. I think right now more of the concerns towards the front end of the motorcycle, but for me personally, I'm not seeing that problem, so I feel very, very fortunate.
Okay, any questions?
I got some. I can ask.
We'll get a microphone to you.
What's that?
There's a microphone.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Come on,
Hey,
Sean,
thanks.
Get it together, man.
Yeah, I know. This is a professional effort here, after all. I'm going to ask each of you guys a question. So, Kyle, you guys go faster every track you go to and every time. But I wasn't sure it was going to happen because the chicane got changed, and yet you now have a new track record at this track in qualifying too. So did that chicane affect you in any way?
It's definitely different, and it's especially coming here for so many years. How you were able to cut the curbs. There was a really kind of a local knowledge type of line that you could take through there. So I came here in January to the Rolex 24-hour, and after the race was over, the president, Frank, was able to take me out to look at it. And I was a little bit concerned. It's definitely a lot tighter, but I was more concerned than I should have been, honestly. They've done a really nice job with it. It definitely points you towards the wall a little bit more than it used to. I think that, there's maybe some adjustments that we could make, but I was pleasantly surprised, and even more surprised that we could do the lap time.
Yeah. Okay, Bradley, so we know you've ridden a lot of motorcycles at a lot of tracks all over the world. Is there any motorcycle or track or combination thereof that is anything like King of the Baggers for you?
Not really. Obviously, from a weight point of view, MotoE. I did that for a couple of seasons, so I'm used to how a heavy bike behaves. But no, like that platform is just so different. Obviously, being electric, and then being built around a race bike geometry, and being built from a blank piece of paper. You have to remember these baggers are first and foremost for the street, and we have developed that platform as best as we can, and doing quite a fine job, I think I would say, in terms of making it into as much of a race bike as we can. But yeah, it's just apples and oranges. It's just not the same. Even to the fact of how the tires behave. Like I've ridden Dunlops in Europe, but we ended up on an American Dunlop, and then we end up on a Japanese Dunlop, and there's just so many things thrown at us this weekend. So I think the riders are doing a tremendous job at adapting to those different circumstances. We're trying to do the best that we can from a safety point of view. But yeah, it's just nothing that you've ever ridden. Nothing can prepare you for this except laps and experience and a good team around you.
Great. All right, Cam Petersen. So when last we saw you, you were going off into the dust in the desert at Podium Club, and that was a tough situation for you. Not anything that was caused by you, not your situation. And I remember you saying, I was there when you said to your crew at your SDI Racing Indian crew, okay, we'll be going to Daytona, guys, so we'll be all good. It's going to be fine. You definitely had some confidence. How is your knee, and did you perform what you even expected?
Yeah, I mean, leaving the Podium Club test and going and getting MRIs a few days later and figuring out what I actually did to my knee, I thought I definitely wasn't going to be able to race this year. But unfortunately, once again, I got to be able to put food on my plate and pay my bills. So here I am racing a motorcycle. It's pretty much the only thing I know how to do. The knee is what it is. I'll get it fixed at the end of the year once again. But yeah, it feels okay on the bike, and that's the main thing.
So your result, where did you think you'd be? I mean,
Honestly, I would have been... I didn't have any expectation, whether it was 5th, 8th, 7th, or whatever. I just wanted to go out there, give it my absolute best, give it everything, and just learn along the way. Definitely didn't expect to be on the podium. Like I said, there was some stuff happening in front of me that allowed me to do that, but after about 3 laps, I felt like I really started to find my feet and kind of go back to the way I know how to ride. And yeah, it just actually got me way more pumped up to swing my leg over that thing tomorrow.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else? Oh,
Back there.
sorry about that.
Yeah, I had a question.
Oh, yeah. Michael?
Kyle, you said it was, the word you used was tricky out there on the track. As compared to when you guys have been on the track earlier this week, what was different about it? Was it a particular location? Was it all the way around? How was it tricky?
All the way around. The ideal conditions are like that late morning here at Daytona. When you have a day like today with low wind, good sun. But as the race goes on, or as the races go on in the afternoon, that track temperature didn't come up that much. It was only maybe a 4-degree rise from this morning, but it felt like a hell of a lot more, and it just felt greasy to me. What you feel today, you usually feel twice as much tomorrow after the 200 with how much heat and rubber is laid into the track. It's a long day. We race an hour later, so we're definitely going to be tricky tomorrow as well.
Thank you.
Bradley, you just talk about the uniqueness of the bike. How about the track? I think that we all are passionate of the bikes, want to know, is it fun?
It's definitely fun once you get used to it. I think the biggest thing that I was thinking last night while laid in bed was how, from a visual point of view, everything's normally horizontal. So you're always looking through the screen, everything's horizontal. You might lean, but your head's kind of always adjusting to kind of keep horizon horizontal. When you go around the banking, you're leaning, then you're at an angle, the bank's at the angle. you see the track kind of going around that way. Like just visually, it just is nothing that I ever thought it would be. Then it's trying to remember which bank you're on to when you have to actually drop back down versus not. You laugh, but for an old guy like me, it's a problem. But it's a lot of fun once you figure it out. There's definitely a rhythm to it, and there's a rhythm to baggers in terms of you can get a bit greedy into corners, but you're probably going to suffer on the way out. So there's just a trade-off the whole time in terms of, you know, I can get in a bit deeper, but then I struggle mid-turn, or I can prepare my exits. So yeah, it's trying to walk that tightrope as best as possible without going over it. So yes, but yes, this place is cool.
And for the three of you guys, now that it seems to be a certain thing that we are going to have a world championship with these bikes, would this platform could be like the path to arrive to a world championship?
I mean, Harley Davidson is exploring opportunities to, you know, bring bagger racing to the world stage. Harley Davidson is a global brand, and it makes sense to bring this to audiences all over the world. I don't know that it can become a stepping stone, but it could become what it is here, which is a very respected championship with high caliber riders. And I think that it would be quite interesting to get more guys like Bradley and others that would, you know, jump at that kind of opportunity. So we'll see where it goes.
It's no real different than car racing, right? Car racing has a lot of different categories, and they each have their own world championship in that own specific thing. They don't try and race each other, or they don't try and make it as a stepping stone as such. You know, there's so many different avenues. The thing is, in motorcycle racing, there's less avenues. You know, it's basically superbike or prototype, and this is just opening up another avenue and shouldn't be compared to anything else.
Thank you, guys.